want to know who I am. Till I created this world at my pleasure with one word. Immediately mountains rose up. Immediately rivers started running. Earth below and sky over its head. Oceans, seas, lands and watersheds. Sun, moon and desert sand sprang up from nowhere to prove my existence. Came all forms of human beings, mankind, beasts and birds flying, speaking, hearing, and all powers were bestowed upon them under my orders. The first place was granted to mankind, and my knowledge was placed in his mind. Come one, come all, let us not be ungrateful called. Let us faithfully serve Sai, him, and love him, love him, love him.
ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामभित्रयवतु गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम्
जातवेदसे सुनवामसो ममराति यतो निदहाति वेदः स नः परिषदति दुर्गाणि विश्वानावेव सिन्धुम् दुरितात्यग्निः तामग्निवर्णाम् तपसा ज्वलन्तीम् वैरोचनीम् कर्मफलेषु जुष्टाम् दुर्गाम् देवीम् शरणमहम् प्रपद्ये सुतरसितरसे नमः अग्ने त्वम् पारयानव्यो अस्मान् स्वस्तिभिरति दुर्गाणि विश्वा पूश्च पृथ्वी बहुलान उर्वे भवातोकायतनयाय संयोः विश्वानि नो दुर्गः जातवेदः सिन्धुम् न नावादुरितादिवर्षे अग्ने अत्रिवन्मनसा गृणानो स्माकम् बोध्यविदातनूना प्रदनाजितगुम् सावाणमुग्रमग्निगुम् भुवेम परमा सदस्तात् स नः परिषदति दुर्गाणि विश्वाक्षामध्येवो अधिदुरितात्यग्निः प्रत्नोषिकमेड्यो अध्वरेषु सनाच्च होतानव्यः सचत्से स्वाञ्चाग्ने तनुवम् विप्रयस्वास्मभ्यम् च सौभगमायजस्व गोभिर्जुष्टमयुजो निषिक्तम् तवेन्द्रविष्णोरनुसञ्चरेम नाकस्य पृष्ठमपि संवसानो वैष्णवे लोकमिहमादयन्त कात्यायनाय विद्महे कन्याकुमारि धीमहि तन्नो दुर्गे प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यम् भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यम् भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यम् भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्।
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निर्भय निर्वैर अकाल मूरत अजूनी सैभं गुरु प्रसाद जप आद सच जुगाद सच है भी सच नानक होसी भी सच।
नमो तस्सा भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्सा बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि। बिस्मिल्लाह अर्रहमान अर्रहीम बिस्मिल्लाह अर्रहमान अर्रहीम बिस्मिल्लाह Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. La ilaha illallah, Allah, Allah. La ilaha illallah, Allah, Allah. La ilaha illallah, Allah, Allah. La ilaha illallah, Allah, Allah.
O Lord, take my love and let it flow in fullness of devotion to Thee. O Lord, take my hands and let them work incessantly for Thee. O Lord, take my soul and let it be merged in one with Thee. O Lord, take my mind and thoughts and let them be in tune with Thee. O Lord, take my everything and let me be an instrument to work.
गजवदना गणनाथा नाथा गजवदना गणनाथा नाथा गौरी भरतनया गुणालया गौरी भरतनया गुणालया गजवदना गणनाथा नाथा विद्यादायक बुद्धिप्रदायक विद्यादायक बुद्धिप्रदायक सिद्धिविनायक हे शुभदायक सिद्धिविनायक हे शुभदायक गजवदना गणनाथा नाथा गौरी भरतनया गुणालया गजवदना गणनाथा नाथा विद्यादायक बुद्धिप्रदायक सिद्धिविनायक हे शुभदायक सिद्धिविनायक हे शुभदायक गजवदना गणनाथा नाथा
जय साई गुरुदेवा साई गुरुदेवा प्रिय साई गुरुदेवा
Dear Lord, we pray, grace us with your love this day.
Dear Lord, we pray, grace us with your love this day.
At your feet, dear Lord, we pray, grace us with your love this day.
At your feet, dear Lord, we pray, grace us with your love this day.
Sai Baba, you are Krishna, you are Rama.
Sai Baba, you are Krishna, you are Rama.
Oh Baba, you are mother, you are father.
Oh Baba, you are mother, you are father.
Sai Baba, you are Krishna, you are Rama.
Sai Baba, you are Krishna, you are Rama.
Oh Baba, you are mother, you are father.
Oh Baba, you are mother, you are father.
All names, every form, all that was and will be done. You are
All names, every form, all Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
வள்ளி தேவசேனா காந்த ஸ்மரணம் பழனிமலையிலே மகிழாடி மகிழ் மேலிருந்து நீயாடி மகிழ் மேலிருந்து நீயாடி மனமுருகி பாடியாடி ஓடி வந்தேன் உன்னாமக்காவடி எடுத்த மனமுருகி பாடி என் கவல தீர்த்தருள்வாயே என் கவல தீர்த்தருள்வாயே சந்தனே முருகா பழனிமலையில் அமரும் சுப்பிரமணிய சுவாமி ஹரஹரோகரா சின்ன சின்ன முருகா முருகா சிங்கார முருகா 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 பாலும் தேனபிஷேகமோ பாலும் தேனபிஷேகமோ பக்தர்களின் காவடியோ பக்தர்களில் காவடியோ பார்ப்பவர்கள் உள்ளமெல்லாம் பார்ப்பவர்கள் உள்ளமெல்லாம் பாதம் வீரி தேவனாகி பாதம் வீரி தேவனாகி சின்ன சின்ன முருகா முருகா சிங்கார முருகா சின்ன சின்ன முருகா முருகா சிங்கார முருகா சின்ன 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 ஒக சின்ன ஒக சின்ன 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 ஒக சின்ன ஓ சின்ன சின்ன முருகா முருகா சிங்கார முருகா சின்ன சின்ன முருகா முருகா சிங்கார முருகா செந்தூர் கடல் கரையில் செந்தூர் கடல் கரையில் பக்தர்களே காட்டிடவே பக்தர்களே காட்டிடவே பார்ப்பவர்கள் மனம் மகிழ చిన్న 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 ఒక చిన్న చిల్ల చిన్న చిన్న చిల్ల చిన్న చిన్న ఒక చిన్న ఓ చిన్న చిల్ల మురుగా మురుగా సింగార మురుగా చిన్న చిల్ల మురుగా మురుగా సింగార మురుగా திக்கி வழிதடியாய் குடியோரும் இளைஞர்களோ மலைகளெல்லாம் ஏறி வந்தாய் மாதவன் மருகா நீ பாவா சின்ன சின்ன முருகா முருகா சிங்காரா முருகா சின்ன முருகா முருகா சிங்காரா முருகா சின்ன சின்ன முருகா முருகா சிங்காரா முருகா சின்ன சின்ன முருகா முருகா சிங்காரா முருகா
ప్రేమ స్వరూపులారా,
embodiments of love.
ఈనాడు మీరు చేసినటువంటి యొక్క పవిత్రమైనటువంటి నామస్మరణ అన్ని ఆధారమైనటువంటి యొక్క హృదయాల్లోన ప్రవేశిస్తున్నాయి.
The chanting of the sacred, matchless name of God will certainly sanctify the hearts of the vast humanity.
కనుక మీరు చెడ్డ భావనకు ఏమాత్రం అవకాశం ఇవ్వకండి.
Never give scope for bad thoughts.
బ్యాడ్ వర్డ్స్ అంతా మీరు అవకాశం ఇవ్వకండి.
Never speak bad words.
పవిత్రమైనటువంటి యొక్క పదవులు మీరు ఉపయోగపెట్టండి.
Use always sacred words.
తీయని పదవులు ఉపయోగపెట్టండి.
Talk sweetly.
దైవనామాన్ని ఉపయోగపెట్టండి.
And sing glory of God.
దానివల్లనే జగత్తుకంతా మనం ఉపకారం చేసిన వారం అవుతాం.
That renders almost a help to the whole world.
Help ever, hurt never.
Help ever, hurt never.
ఇతరులకు ఏమాత్రం కూడా అపకారం చేయకండి.
Never harm anybody.
ఉపకారమే చేస్తూ రండి.
Help others continuously.
ఈ ఉపకారం చేస్తూ రావడం చేత మీకు అంతా కూడా ఉపయోగమైనటువంటి యొక్క ఫలములే కలుగుతాయి.
When once you help everybody, you will have positive results.
కనుక
So
మీరు తగినటువంటి ఒక కాలం అంతా కూడాను వ్యర్థం చేయకండి.
never waste your time.
చదువుతో పాటు
Along with education,
నామస్మరణతో పాటు
along with singing,
దివ్యమైనటువంటి యొక్క కీర్తనతో పాటు
along with singing good
హృదయాన్ని
hymns,
పవిత్రం గావించుకోండి.
you should make your hearts sacred. You will not
భావం
receive
తద్భవతి.
as is your feeling, so will be your experience.
కనుకనే నీ యొక్క చెడ్డ భావములే నీకు ఆ రియాక్షన్, రీసౌండ్ అండ్ రిఫ్లెక్షన్ గా వస్తున్నాయి.
It's only your bad thought that comes back to you in the form of reaction, reflection and resound.
ఇది ఏమాత్రమో జీవుల్లోటి చెడ్డ గుణములు కాదు.
Never give any scope for such things.
నీ యందున్నటువంటి చెడ్డ గుణములే.
In fact, all qualities are in you.
కేవలం నీ యొక్క జీవులపైన నిరూపించి వాటిని నీవు హింసిస్తున్నావు.
You attribute these things to other beings and blame them.
ఎలాంటి వారినైనా సరే నీకు దుర్మార్గంగా వచ్చే వారిని నీవు ప్రేమించు.
Let him be anyone, good or bad, you should continue to love.
तत्सत् श्री नारायण तु सिद्ध बुद्ध तु स्कंद विनायक सविता पावक तु सविता पावक तु ब्रह्म तु यम शक्ति तु येसु पिता प्रभु तु रुद्र विश्व तु राम कृष्ण तु रहीमताऊ तु रहीमताऊ तु वासुदेव गो विश्वरूप तु चिदानंद हरि तु अद्वितीय तु अकाल निर्भय आत्मलिंग शिव तु आत्मलिंग शिव तु आत्मलिंग शिव तु
असतो मा सद्गमया तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमया मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमया।
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
ॐ जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे भक्त जना संरक्षक भक्त जना संरक्षक पते महेश्वरा ॐ जय जगदीश हरे शशिवदना श्रीकरा सर्वा प्राणपते स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपते आश्रित कल्पलतिका आश्रित कल्पलतिका आपद बांधवा ॐ जय जगदीश हरे मात पिता गुरुदैवमु मरियन्तयु नीवे स्वामी मरियन्तयु नीवे नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा नागेन्द्राशयना ॐ जय जगदीश हरे ओंकार रूप ओजस्वी साई महादेवा सत्य साई महादेवा मंगल हारति अंदुको मंगल हारति अंदुको मंदर गिरिधारी ॐ जय जगदीश हरे नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्य नारायण 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 ॐ नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्य नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्य नारायण नारायण ॐ जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्य नारायण 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 ॐ नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्य नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्य नारायण नारायण ॐ जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्य नारायण 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 ॐ नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्य नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्य नारायण नारायण ॐ जय सद्गुरुदेवा शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय।
परमं पवित्रं बाबा विभूतिं परमं विचित्रं लीला विभूतिं परमार्थैस्वार्थमोक्षप्रदानं बाबा विभूतिं
Saramo, Anil, radio check.
Yes, I'm here. Yeah.
You can receive. Okay. Morning, everyone. And it was a brilliant OB office bearer and active workers meeting yesterday. We have to thank Swami for that, really. And we'll hear more about it shortly. Anil, you want to say something about the Mahashivratri celebration?
Yes, Sairam, Sairam, everyone. 28th of February, which is Monday, our Sai Center is invited for bhajan and chanting, I believe. Giant and team, they are going to be going to Siddhivinayak temple at MKHA. Anyone wants to join on Monday, the 28th, please feel free to join rest of our center team. And then the online Shivratri celebration is going to be the following day, which is a Tuesday, 1st of March. It's going to be 2 hours program starting at 7 p.m. and before 9 o'clock we'll be concluding. Yeah, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. The other item in the announcements was the ladies Vedam chanting. Santvana, do you know if anybody signed up after that announcement? Where's our Santvana? Santvana? Shivani, anybody signed up after that?
Yes, Sairam, everyone. Yes, yeah, a couple of ladies joined actually, but they are not part of our Sai Center. As OB meeting, they said is okay too. So yeah, 2 of them are joined. Yeah,
that's right. Anybody can sign up for that. They don't have to be members of our group. Okay, so we'll move on to the OB meeting yesterday. I mean, they call it Office Bearers and Active Workers Conference. And it's always a nice event when we all meet together face to face. So it was like after 2 years that we met people that we knew from years ago. What happened there? So Ketan Bhai, our national president, gave a speech. And then we had a speech from our zonal president, who's actually in Germany. He's a German citizen, and he's the Zone 6 president. And he gave a really, really nice talk. And he was saying that you should ask Swami for every little thing, even a car park space. And I was reminded of our Richard King, bless him. All the older devotees will know Richard. And he used to tell me this when he used to go to town. When he couldn't find a car park space, he would say, Swami, please get me a space. And he would find one. So that was the zonal chief. And then the different national wing coordinators gave a report on what's been happening in their respective wings. And then they had workshops for these wings. And 5 of us went from Milton Keynes for the conference. So the people who attended the different workshops, they will be feeding back in a minute or so. We had Mr. Nimish Pandya. Now he's the All India president for the Seva organization. He's a lawyer, very eminent lawyer in Mumbai. And he gave a really, really deep speech. Now, all this is going to be recorded because the audiovisual team was there and they recorded everything. And I asked Ketan Bhai, when can we expect the recording? He said next week. So as soon as I get it, I'll send it out to everybody. Have a good listen because there's gems in everybody's speech. Yeah. There's the workshops I was telling you about. Then we had some lovely bhajans from our sister Sathya, who is the chair of Aylesbury Sai Center, but she lives in Milton Keynes. So she sang for us. Overall, it was a very informative, uplifting conference. And as I said, the recording will be coming out and we'll send it to everybody. So now, as I said, we had 5 attendees from our group who were there. And I'm going to go to each one of them to pose some questions. So firstly, Anil, from the spiritual side, what are the highlights that we should be looking for in the coming year?
The takeaway message was, first of all, everyone was really appreciative of reconnecting face to face. And the takeaway was,
for SSC and Bhajans, we cannot go on online because the spiritual vibrations, meeting face to face and doing Bhajans, and for SSC, having that FaceTime with the children is very important. You don't get that online. And so there is renewed interest that we should actually go back to face as and when it is possible, with, of course, risk assessment and all of that stuff. The takeaway message for all of us, right? It was pray. Next is learn and practice and meditate. So it's almost reminding us everything Swami's message is about. But there was a very good interactive session focused on, a reflective theme about how has been our life pre, during, and post-pandemic. So the takeaway was on post-pandemic, what we should be focusing on, as in when we are going to be near normal. But there were some positives that came from people's reflections, is that online platform gave them opportunity to really take learning Vedam, learning Bhajans, even doing the SSC online. People felt the participation has been really good. And in fact, in some cases, the SSC participation was more than the face-to-face participation. And there were people from national team, they said what they can do, if some of the centers are keen on having Vedam lessons, they could conduct from center initiative perspective if there is a need. But I don't think we need, because we have Vedam happening quite nicely here, right? With Jayant and Vani Mudli Garu leading them. So yes, that's what I can say. There were plenty, so I think I'll stop here because.
Okay, thanks very much, Anil. There's quite a lot to think about. Next, we move on to Seva and Godfrey. Godfrey, what happened to those bags that we took along, the Syrian dignity bags? Godfrey?
Hello, everyone.
Hi. Tell us about the bags, Godfrey.
Do you hear me?
Yes, we hear you. Yeah.
Okay, Saram, everyone.
Saram.
And first of all, I thank Swami for what all of us did. There was a massive response with the dignity bags that all of you contributed. And we had 775 dignity bags collected yesterday for the NOBC conference. Out of that, 558 bags were delivered yesterday from various parts of the country. And Swami tasked us with reparking them, tagging them, and boxing them up, and eventually loading them onto the van that took them away to the church where they all collected. So you did a wonderful job. For the Seva conference, service wing, 3 items were picked up that we should work on within our own site centers. And those were social care. We have to do more in the area of social care. And there were quite a few items that were picked up. But for me, I picked up introduction of homeless services to tackle isolation within our domestic areas. So we need to do more in that area. And then the second one was Medicare. We were asked to do more by donating blood. And that this is a requirement that is ongoing nationwide, and every site center has to do more to participate into that. The third one was EnviroCare. and the regional, our regional chair and the national too asked us to do more, get more involved into environmental care by planting trees within our areas. And he mentioned about picking litter, plastics, and there is a new savers going on throughout the country, within the country, in the entire country. This is a beach care, where groups of savers go to a certain allocated beach and they collect the rubbish and then they clean it up. So we've been tasked to do more in those areas. Yeah, so that's what I picked up for our service wing.
Okay,
yes,
thanks very much, Godfrey. 775 bags is amazing because the target was only 97. So, you know, the generosity of people and the fact that it was only all done in 3 weeks. You know, 3 weeks ago, we got this message saying, can we get these bags? And what a magnificent number, really, eh? Amazing, amazing. Thanks, Godfrey. We move on to SSC. Now, Seelan couldn't make the meeting, so Kason went in his place. So Kason, can you update us what's happening in SSC for the coming year?
Yes, Sairam, everybody. Can you hear me? Yes.
Yep.
The first point was the general consensus was that we tried to get back to face-to-face classes, and Anil put that very succinctly in the beginning as to what the reasons were for that. So that was the one point. And they suggested, you know, we could use a family values day to encourage families to be more accepting of the face-to-face classes and to feel a bit more comfortable in terms of that situation. So use like a family values day or a Seva day to get people together. The other important point that we need to make note of is the 7th of May, which is National Ishwarama Day celebration. This is going to be a national celebration at one venue, similar to the venue that we went to yesterday. And it's going to be everybody from the UK coming in to celebrate. And we are going to be asked to, well, every center has been asked to present items or perform items. And the last point is they addressed safeguarding training for all gurus and how to make it easier. So I phoned Seelan and I just gave him a bit of an update on all of that anyway. So that's it there. Sairam.
Sairam, thanks, Kason. Yes, I mean, there's a bit of reluctance on some parents' side about sending their children for face-to-face. But when we open up, we're going to have strict protocols, not only for the Bhajans, but also for the SSC classes. So Seelan is working on that. So rest assured, everybody will be safe when we open up. So now we move on to Radhika, who's our outreach coordinator. And the question for you, Radhika, is, were there any tips you picked up on how we can expand on our outreach activities? Radhika?
Sairam. Well, there wasn't an outreach wing workshop, so I attended the spiritual workshop, which was really very interesting. I found it really interesting. But what did come across apparently was encouraging people to share their own experiences, which we have been doing. We've put that out there, and people to come and share how they came to Swami. So hopefully that message will encourage people, get through to encourage people to come and share their experiences, because we're all valued and it's all part of our spiritual journey, which yeah, so that's really all I can think of to say about it. Yeah, it was a really good day, and you know, to meet everyone again face to face like that was very, very, very good, and yeah, I was very grateful to be able to attend it.
Sairam, thank you, Radhika. Yes, they said that they're going to record the experiences of all the devotees who've had experience with Swami. And when they said that, I immediately thought of Radhika's idea, where she started this our session on how did you come to Swami. So, you know, people are thinking alike. So, oh, by the way, please volunteer for this session. How did you come to Swami? Radhika needs more and more people to be interviewed. They also had a chairs session where all the chairs, the regional presidents and the center presidents met with the national group, and they covered a few things. One was DBS is going to be done online now, so we will not have the clinics that we used to, where Bharat used to come and we all turn up with our passports and, you know, there's a form to fill. There won't be any of that anymore. It'll be all done online, and it will be renewed automatically. There's an updating service, so they can renew it automatically. What else? They covered GDPR. Now, you remember some weeks ago, I sent a link for everybody to fill up the form for GDPR. It takes less than 2 minutes. I hope all of you have done it, because next week they'll be sending a list of names of the people who have signed up, which means I can work out who didn't sign up, and then we can, you know, persuade everybody to do that. Pratap Bhai actually talked about a system where the OBs have, the national team have generic emails. You know, this is like president.mk at whatever, so that the next president who takes over just takes over the mailbox. So when I heard this, I said, MK has done this already, and Anil is our expert, and he can advise anybody who wants to do this. So that was something discussed. And also people were saying, can we not get like a Zoom contract? And again, Anil has done, Anil and Seelan, both of them, I think, have done this, a 3-year contract with Zoom. So we're really the Sai Center of Innovation. I don't want to blow our trumpet too much. Anyway, so that was the president's side. And they talked about different issues happening in different centers. Now, I was going to put a question to each of our panelists. We have a panel of 4 here. So panel, listen in. In one word, describe what the NOBC was for you and why you thought it was worthwhile that you went along. So we will start with spiritual. Anil, one word to describe the event, what it meant to you, and why you thought it was good that you went.
The 2 words comes to me. Can I use 2?
Yes, I'll give you that.
I thought it was reconnecting, and for me it was for the first time. So rekindling your spiritual goals. Yeah, and what was the second part of the question?
Why was it worthwhile for you that you went? What did you gain from it?
There was no why, because I'm the office bearer right now for spiritual.
No, what did you gain by going there? Let's put it that way.
Yeah, so the gain is I got inspired by various talks, particularly Nimish Pandey's talk was spot on. It brought to surface again the need for focus on individual transformation, which is at the center surface within, you know, in every aspect, right? It should be always centered on oneself. So that came quite resonating with me, really.
Yeah, it was brilliant speech. Anything else you want to add, Anil?
No, that's all. Sorry.
Okay, thanks a lot. Godfrey, one word, and then what it did for you, the conference.
For me, it was recharging my spiritual batteries, Having heard what has been said in most of the sessions, workshops, and seeing all of us back together face to face, because that to me, I saw Swami's grace and protection in that. We went through a horrific pandemic, and so there was so much challenge. And having seen all of us getting back together and serving, and that was really, yes.
Thank you, Godfrey. Radhika, what did you feel?
Oneness.
Oneness. Yeah, yeah. And did you think it was a worthwhile event?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
It was so good to get to be together with Sai family, and yeah, it was lovely. It was really lovely. Very grateful.
Yeah. Kason?
Sarah, self-development, and I would like to expand on that. When Nimesh Pandey said, you are in the OB, you are an office bearer, you are an active worker, not to necessarily improve other people's lives, but it is you have chosen to improve your spiritual and your pathway to Swami. It has nothing to do with, and then we always say what Swami says, you're doing seva, and the benefit is not necessarily to the person they're doing seva for, it's for you, it makes you feel good. So that is the one point. And then the other one is when he sang that bhajan, where you say you see love, you speak love, you feel love. And I think that was another point that really resonated with me. It's all the time. And the third point was when our zonal regional chair, you touched on that. Ask Swami for everything. And I think, some of us will remember Nirmalma. And she used to always tell us, and I remember when she was SSE coordinator at our center, she's always says she'd go and ask Swami, what should I cook today? What should I? She used to always ask Swami for everything. So those are the points that I picked up on, which yes, was fantastic.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. It was an awesome event, really, full of information, full of good vibrations. And next year, I suggest as many of us as possible go along. Now, it's a pain sometimes to drive, but we can always share cars and, go along to this once in a lifetime event or once a year lifetime event for all of us. So we'll make an effort to send as many people as possible next year. And it's not, like, as I said, it's not just for OBs, it's for active workers. And active workers means anybody who has an active interest in developing themselves, in learning more about Swami. And, we met Jerry. Some of you will remember Jerry. He was the Mill Hill chair, and he came along here at Seelan's invite to talk to us in one of the bhajans. And he said that he was in Prashanti when Swami came out in his golden chariot, and Radhika said she was also there. And apparently Swami said, you guys, you were all with me when I was Krishna, and you're still on earth. That means you haven't progressed. So there's a message there for all of us. So we got to take Swami's teachings literally, and like Kason just said, it's our job to change ourselves, So I think that's a very good takeaway you got, Kason. I mean, I was reflecting on that as well. So a lot to think about. When we get the recording, I urge all of you to listen into it. And, you might have to listen twice, but it's all good material to help us progress in our path for spirituality and liberation. Yeah, so I think that was all I had to say. Let's go around the room. Anil, final words?
No, nothing from me, Suresh.
Okay. Right. Godfrey, anything else?
No, nothing else. Thank you.
Okay. Radhika, anything, final words?
No, I think she left.
Okay. Kason, anything?
No, nothing. Sarah, thank you.
Okay. Brilliant day yesterday. Anybody in this group has any questions to ask about any of the wings or anything while we're all here? No? Okay. So all of you have a good week, and we'll catch up next Sunday. Until then, take care, Sairam, and God bless.
Sairam.
Sairam. Sairam.